Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today was Labor Day. The market was closed. That's normal. It's closed on federal holidays, and I want to give you some advice and give you some pitfalls that most new investors fall into. I really want to do this video because I see a lot of complaints about people complaining about this or that, and they don't understand it, and they get real upset, and they say this whole thing is a scam, and things just spiral out of control. So let's actually sit down and explain some of the biggest pitfalls that new investors run into and what is actually going on and how to avoid these. Number one is not understanding your account and the rules of your account. A lot of people will put in money, they'll buy something, and they'll sell something, and they try to withdraw the money all in the same day. Can't do that. That's not because the app is a scam. That is because of the rules of how money is transferred and how things are supposed to go down. So for example, usually when you take money from your bank account and you connect it to almost any investing app, it's going to take you 1 to 3 business days. That's standard for Cash App if you're doing a regular transfer. If I'm transferring my money from PayPal to my business account, that's normal. Okay, so you really want to wait until the funds have actually hit your account. Yes, some apps will give you an instant cash for you to deposit 100 and just start investing right away. Yes, you can do that, but when you start to withdraw before you actually have real money in your account, that's going to be an issue. And just because you sell something doesn't mean you can withdraw the exact same day, and I'll explain that in just a second. So that's number one. Anytime you're transferring money into or out of an investing account, it is normal and common for that to take 1 to 3 business days, period. Okay, that is normal. There was one time I invested, I deposited too much money. I think I was trying to put in like $100. I accidentally put in 1,000. I was like, uh-oh, because I'm going to have to wait close to 6 days to get that $900 back. And again, that's normal because I transferred it, I made a mistake. I had to wait 3 days for it to settle and actually be in my account. Even though I could trade that money immediately, I had to wait until the money got there. So I had to wait 3 days before it got there, then transfer it out and wait another 3 days for it to go back to my bank account. Did I complain? No, that was a mistake on my part, number one. But two, that's the normal process. That is the normal process. It's almost always been that. That has to do with how banks transfer and the ACH process. That ain't got nothing to do with the app or whatever. That is just how that works. If you don't understand that, then you're going to get into some situations where you're going to be very, very upset, and you're going to call customer service and yell at them, and they're going to tell you the exact same thing as a normal, regular process. Transferring from bank to investing account and vice versa can take you 1 to 3 business days. That's just it. That's how it is. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, though, is understanding settlement date. So when you buy a stock, and this is common, this is on a lot of the licensing exams. If you're trying to become a financial advisor, I've did it, went through that whole thing. I passed on the first try. I'm a terrible test taker, but I passed that one. It is called T+2, which means when I buy a stock, yes, it'll say I got it at this price, but it does not settle in my account. I do not officially have it until trade date plus 2 additional days, so 3 days total. That means that I officially have it and I can do whatever it is I want to do with it. So that means that trade date, let's say it's Monday. Monday is a trade date. Tuesday, Wednesday, it is officially mine in my account. If I were to sell that stock on Wednesday, that means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's when I will have the cash, the proceeds to settle. So I wouldn't really make a true profit and have that in my account to withdraw until Friday. So I can buy the stock on Monday, it'll settle on Wednesday, and when I sell on Wednesday after it's settled, then that means on Friday, that's the day that I can actually withdraw the money from my account. If you try to buy on Monday, sell on Monday, and withdraw the money on Monday, they're probably not going to allow you to do that because the trade has not settled yet. That's going to be an issue for you. All these things have to be in order. Sometimes it can take you a day or two. Can you buy and sell in the same day? Yes, you can. But to buy, sell, and withdraw on the same day, that's going to be an issue because it has to settle. Then once it settles, then it has to move to your account. That could take you 3 to 6 business days for that to occur. Again, that's normal, but you have to know that going into it, because if you don't and you try to sell something and you try to withdraw your money, or you lost money and you're trying to stop it and withdraw money that same day, and that's all the money you have in the account tied in that one trade, you're going to run into some issues. Okay, so just letting you know that is a normal and common practice. It has to do with how the SEC works. It has to do with how the banks work. And again, that's standard. It's always been that way. It's always trade plus two, buying or selling. Okay, so if I buy a stock on Monday and I sell and I make a profit, great. I still need to wait until it settles to actually decide to pull that money out of my account, wherever it is, and put it back in my bank if I even want to do that. But do be aware that you could be running into some issues when you do that, okay? Just throwing it out there. These are things that new investors don't always know, and you think you can buy, sell, withdraw, hit your account all in the same day, and you can just run off with whatever money. The reason why you can't do that, especially if you're transferring from your bank, is because essentially you would be using money that does not exist to buy something, sell it, and then pull out the money and the profits to something that may not exist. Your money has to settle and be in the account. You have to buy and own the stock. You have to sell the stock and have the money and funds to transfer back to your bank. If you don't have all that, then that trade is going to fall apart. You're going to run into some restrictions, and sometimes you could be banned or cut off from the app because basically you're trading with phantom money, right? Your money hasn't hit the account yet, so you're like buying and selling stuff and then pulling money back into your account, or trying to, when the money never actually hit the account in the first place. That's why you run into those issues. Excuse me. That's why you can run into those issues. So there you go. That's number one. Pitfall number one is not understanding the type of account you have. Number two, and this is a very common one, is not understanding the investment that you may have. So first off, I've already done a 3-part simple process on researching stocks, on what you need to know, and whether or not you want to decide if you want to invest in something or not. What I have seen a lot is when someone will buy what I call a terrible company in a penny stock, which I tell most people to avoid, but you do what you want to do. Penny stocks are anything that's $5 and below. They're usually pretty terrible companies and don't normally perform well. But aside from that, people will jump into these types of companies and not understand what's going on. So recently I had someone who bought a company and it did a stock split. When stock splits occur, your app, and this is any app, will tell you that you have either made a lot of money or lost a lot of money just based on the math, and that's not always the case. For example, Apple did, I think, a 3-to-1 split last fall. So Apple was $300 or so per share. They did the stock split, so I had 3 times more shares at $100. I did not lose or make any money. It did not make me any difference. My pockets did not change. However, when you go from $300 a share to 100, your app will tell you lost 33 or 66%, and you panic. You say, oh my God, I lost this much money. I need to sell and get out. Everything is terrible, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the problem. Number one, you didn't lose money. Number two, you invested in a company. You were not aware that stock split was coming, which tells me that you didn't do your research, because usually whether it's Tesla or Apple or any company, if you do your research, you know this is usually around the corner. Okay, that's not a shocker if you've done the right amount of research. If you don't know what a stock split is, you might want to look into that. We did a video on stock splits and the impact of stock splits and what they can do. I did one on GE, did one on Apple, did one on Tesla. So feel free to go back and look at those. That's something I've seen people run into all the time. And I've seen reverse stock splits where it'll say you're up 2,000% because your stock went from $2 to, I don't know, $120 because they did a reverse stock split. Again, now you have less shares, but your price is higher. And companies do that to perhaps perceive or be seen as more attractive for certain reasons, to starve off bankruptcy in some ways, to say, look, we're more expensive, maybe people will buy us, so on and so forth. But it's a cosmetic change. It's like me changing my hat. I might look better on camera with a different hat. I might look better with a haircut. I probably do, but I'm still the same person. My voice is not going to change. These are the things that you need to be aware of. Again, reading the news about the company is one way to avoid that, and just never jump into something without truly understanding what it is and what they do. All right, now pitfall number 3, and our final pitfall is understanding not just what you're investing in, but having the right expectations and understanding those expectations. Expectations will really let you down if you're not careful. And what you want to do is take a step back before you just hop on the app and start putting in money, especially if it's your last $100. I don't think that's the wisest thing for you to do either. But people jump in and think they're going to make a whole bunch of money overnight and then pay off all their bills and solve whatever issues that they have. That's not how the stock market works on a consistent basis. Sometimes it's going to take you 6 months. Sometimes it could take you a year. Most people, and I did a video on this, where I think it was 30-some-odd% of millionaires, they have their money in 401ks and IRAs. Those are long-term investments that people really don't touch and act with or are active with every single day. I'm not active. Y'all see my investments, and I'm here Monday through Friday. But if you're looking at my portfolio in public, if you're looking at my 401k, I'm not touching that. The only thing I'm doing is adding money every week or every month. That's it. That's it. But that is the path to success. Yes, you can trade your way to success. That's a bit harder, and I do some trades here and there, but you can do that as well. But again, you will never see me jump into a trade and be in and out within a day. That is a harder road to success, and statistically, that just ain't the one that's been most beneficial for most people. Have I had friends that have done it? Yeah, but that's like 1 out of 500. So again, choose the path of least resistance and choose the path that has the highest rate of success. But you do want to have your expectations in order. Just because you bought a meme stock, fine, that doesn't mean that that is a successful long-term strategy. Just because you bought something because of, I don't know, a tweet or what have you, still do your research, still have your expectations in the right place. You don't want to just jump into it and just say, this is going to be the one thing that's going to work 100% of the time, or I did this last year in 2020 and it's just going to work just like that, or that if I take all the money I need for my bills and I think I'm going to pay off my student loans, hopefully, right? I would hope and pray that that's going to be the case, but that's not realistic. And you do want to be realistic about your investments. 7 to 10% is standard, okay? Year after year, that is standard. If you invest in an index fund, on average, not every year, on average, that's what you're going to get. If you do better than that, that is good, okay? That is really good. You 15, 20%, and that's what you're kind of averaging at, that's solid. To be realistic and say that you're going to get a 200% gain, 1,000% gain, that's very, very, very rare. And sometimes to hit those types of gains, you have to take on outsized risk, which if you are a beginner, you might not be ready for. So again, have your expectations in the right place. So those are my 3 pitfalls that new investors fall into: not having the right expectations and getting into some things that really aren't realistic. Talk to an expert. Ask a question here. Find me on public. Ask questions in comments, or ask questions in the comments about what's realistic and what's normal if you don't already know. Understanding the rules with your account. I've seen some people put money into a 401k and they just think you can just withdraw it and go and play with it. Can't really do that, or you can, but you will pay a penalty for that. Understand, again, the rules of your account. It's going to take some time to transfer from one account to another. It's going to take some time for you to buy and actually settle. And then lastly, definitely understand what you are investing in. I want to do a video at some point on leveraged ETFs. I know someone asked a question about that, I think last month. Still trying to get to that, but that might not be something for you, right? You want to understand, like, hey, what am I investing in? What does it mean? What are the costs and the benefits of doing that, as opposed to, oh, I saw somebody else do it, I'm just going to jump into it. I saw one random person on YouTube who I don't know what their credentials are. I'm just going to follow them and just go do that. You might not want to do that. You want to take your own time to research, to analyze, and make sure that you vet the sources that you're getting your information from. That's something that's really, really important. You don't want to take and just say, oh, I saw this dude, he had a bunch of subscribers, I'm going to just go listen to him and then hope it works for me. The reason why I say that, and y'all can check your boy out, right? I've got the credentials and all that kind of stuff. But the reason is I've seen people get scammed from people on YouTube. I've seen people, claim to be, investment experts and get absolutely wiped out because they didn't understand what that person was doing. That person didn't explain what they were doing, and then you look them up online and realize they might not have had those types of credentials that they expected. So you always want to do your research. Anything that you're reading or consuming online, you might want to check out the author and see, where did they write this? Where did they go to school? Did they go to school? No, that is not required. And if it is not for you, that's fine. But what are the results that they had? And are those results consistent, or did they get lucky one time? These are all the things that you want to ask from all the places that you're reading and consuming information. So just want to throw all that stuff out there. Y'all know what it is out here. You can go to buildingbread.com/media and read up on all that stuff, including credentials, awards, all that kind of stuff, in case you want to verify your boy, in case you're skeptical. And that is totally fine with me. Now, that might not be fine with everybody else, but hey, I ain't got no problems. So those are the pitfalls that most people run into, most beginning investors run into. Just wanted to help you out now so that as you invest in the future, you'll be in the right places. One other issue I've seen is if you fall into those pitfalls, it can really sour your taste for quite a while, which means you won't be investing. And if you're not investing, you're not getting that compounding interest. So just wanted to help you out right now, give you those 3 pitfalls and ways to avoid it. If you have any other questions or pitfalls that you have, you know how to reach me. Like, subscribe, and comment. I usually read the comments on YouTube in public first. That's where I go to get the majority of information first, and then maybe the DMs, but obviously those are backed up. So comments and likes and subscribes are your first place to go, especially on YouTube. When you do subscribe, you get a little badge from my end, and those are the easiest ones for me to sort out. So just so you know. All right, comments, links, all those things will be in the description below. I'll talk to you guys later.